Happy Sunday! Woo woo! Welcome to the next episode of Mykaela's Corner. It's so good to have you guys here today. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're staying safe. I know I say it every week, but I love you. I miss you. I hope you guys are doing great. Today, we've got a fun day in store for us. We are learning about another miracle, another cool thing that Jesus did while he was alive on earth. And so we've got a fun story today. We've got some books to read. In our story today, we're going to learn about how somebody walked on water. And yes, Jesus did, but somebody else did too. Can you believe it? Jesus had somebody else walk on water. We'll talk about it in our story. But part of that is that our stories today that I've got one is called Jesus is My Special Friend. And I thought that was kind of a good idea to talk about Jesus being our friend, how the disciples back in the day were Jesus' friends and they got to hang out with him. But for us it looks different, but Jesus is still just as much a friend to us as he was to them. But what does it look like to have Jesus be my friend? And then the other one is called I Can Pray. Now we talked about prayer a while back, but we're going to read a book about it again today because you'll see in our story there's a moment where he prays and he cries out to God. So I figured, let's read another book about prayer. And for our craft today, we're going to take part of what we use in the object lesson to go towards our craft. So you're just going to have to keep watching to find out what that is. So let's jump in. Welcome to Bible Time. I just wanted to start out by saying thank you to my brother Ethan. For those of you from our church, he is the one that does all our worship stuff at our church, and you guys know him. You've been watching him for the last couple of months on our live stream and stuff like that, but Ethan is my brother. Hey! Stay. And he lent me all his Batmans and his action figures to use in my lessons. So thank you so much, Ethan. We saw that last week in our crowd scenes from my Feeding the 5,000 story. That was only like a quarter of them. So I picked a handful today to represent characters in our story. Today we've got our boat. We're back on the Sea of Galilee again. We've got disciples in the boat, and then we have Jesus here, represented by the orange Batman, because he's the light of the world, and orange is like a light color. And then we've got Peter here. Now, if you remember from last week, Peter's a bit dramatic. We're going to see that it happens again today, and that he forgets that Jesus can do such great things and such great miracles. So, let's jump into our story. Our story begins on the side of the Sea of Galilee. Picture it. Close your eyes. There's crowds of people. We've been talking about it for weeks now. Jesus has been teaching, he's been healing. And there they are on the side of the sea, listening to Jesus. Now, right back to where our other stories start. Jesus is ready to take a little bit of a break. And this time, they get it. Jesus tells the disciples, guys, why don't you go out into the boat? It's getting late. It's like in the evening now. You guys go out to the boat and you go ahead and head out. I'm going to finish up here. I'll say goodbye to everybody, do like the nice host thing. You say, hello, thank you for coming. Okay, take care. And I'm going to head up to the mountain and I'm going to pray for a bit and talk with my Father, God. And so he sends the disciples out. So they do. They go out in their boat, and wouldn't you know it, a storm comes in. Now, nothing crazy. It's not like what it was last time where they thought they were going to actually die. But it was windy, and there were waves, and I'm sure it probably didn't feel good. And if they're not used to it, they probably felt a little sick. I don't know. Have you ever felt seasick before? I have not felt seasick before, but I've gotten car sick before. So I imagine it's a little similar. And so they're out on this ship. Jesus was still on the mountain. And they thought that they were alone. Around 3 a.m, Jesus came toward his disciples. Now, what you might be thinking is, yeah, okay, but don't forget, they were out in the boat far away. And so Jesus coming towards them means he had to be walking on water. Jesus came towards his disciples walking on the sea, and when the disciples saw Jesus, they were terrified. Can you imagine? It's the middle of the night, 3 a.m. Everybody's sleeping at 3 a.m. Maybe there's a couple people on the boat who are like, just keeping a lookout because there's a storm. Just make sure that everything's, going okay, but there might be some guys sleeping. But imagine, you're in the middle of the sea, and you look out, and it's dark, and you see something. You're like, what is that? Is that a whale? Is that a seal? Wait, no, that's tall. What? It's the shape of a human. But people don't walk on water. What is it? And they all think, it's a ghost. Now, you and I know, ghosts aren't real. But they didn't know what to think. I wouldn't know what to think. You're looking out and you see somebody and you're like, this isn't making sense. People don't walk on water. What is that? They were scared right away. It's a ghost. And Jesus spoke to them. Have courage. Don't be scared. It's me. Don't be afraid. And the disciples were like, whoa, wow, crazy. I'm sure they were shocked and they're like, guys, get up. If anybody was sleeping, they're like, come look, it's Jesus. He's out walking on water. Don't be afraid. And Peter answered and he said, Lord, if it's really you, tell me to come out to you in the water. Because he knew if Jesus is walking on water, he can do anything. They've seen him raise people from the dead, feed 5,000 people. We saw that last week. He's healed. He has done so many wonderful things that he's thinking, I can't quite tell yet because he's far away if that's Jesus. So if it is Jesus, I know that he can help me walk on water. So that'll be like our thing. So we know it's him. So Jesus said, come. So Peter got out of the boat and started walking on the water toward Jesus. But when Peter saw how strongly the wind was blowing, remember there's a storm going on, he was afraid. He got scared. I mean, I would be afraid. Imagine it's at night, 3 a.m., you're trusting Jesus to walk on water and you get out there and you're walking, but then whoa, it's scary out here and I'm sure it's deep water. You don't know what's in there and the wind's blowing and maybe he's not that great of a swimmer. Who knows? But either way, he started to get afraid, and as soon as he got afraid and stopped trusting Jesus that he would be fine, he started to sink. He started to go under the water. The bubbles started to come up around him, and he began to sink. And in that moment, Peter cried out to Jesus, and he said, Jesus, help me. Jesus, save me. Like we do when we have things go wrong, all we need to remember is to call out to Jesus, because when he did, Jesus reached out his hand and he grabbed Peter, and Jesus said, oh, you of little faith, why did you doubt? Classic question for Jesus, it seems to be to his disciples, where they're in a situation that they think nothing's possible. Like last week with feeding 5,000. There's no food, what are we gonna do? Why did they doubt that Jesus couldn't do it? Or that Jesus didn't have a plan? Because we're human, and we need constant reminders of Jesus in our life. After that, Jesus and Peter, they climbed into the boat and the wind stopped. Then everyone in the boat worshiped Jesus, saying, truly you are the Son of God. I think a good lesson for us to learn from this is that Peter was scared, and in that moment, he started worrying and didn't trust Jesus, and that's when he began to sink. In our lives, we're probably never going to get a chance to walk on water. Who knows? They might come up with a crazy invention that allows you to do it in years. But you know what I mean. Some of these miracles that Jesus did, only Jesus can do. These kind of things aren't going to happen to us in real life. So for us, what's another way of thinking like, I'm not going to walk on water, so I know I'm not going to sink in water. But what's something that you and I do that we trust Jesus every day? We trust that there's going to be food to eat. We trust that, problems that come up in our lives, that he's going to be there to see us through it. And when we stop trusting Jesus, that's when it gets so much harder. That's when it gets really scary. Now, don't get me wrong. You can be afraid and still trust Jesus. That's not the problem here. But it's that he stopped trusting Jesus and his fear took over his trust for Jesus. Now, we can be afraid and trust Jesus, but that's the key thing, is we need to remember to trust Jesus and that everything's going to be okay at the end. All right, so with that, I've got a fun object lesson, and I'm going to invite my guest to join me. It is going to be Ellen. Woo, woo, woo. You guys have seen her before. We did the bubbles together, but today I'm going to have her do a little bit of a faith walk. So I thought, what would be a fun object lesson for you guys today to see and maybe try at home? Now, this is definitely a parent permission thing to try at home. I'm going to make Ellen walk on top of eggs. Anywho, all that to say, I think it'll be a really fun thing to watch, and we'll see. Will she break all of them? Will she break none of them? I'm going to go with maybe 2 for like the first step, because you gotta get your footing right. It's gotta be flat. But let's find out. Hey guys! We're gonna do our object lesson now. I've got Ellen with me. Say hi, Ellen.
Hi!
And we are going to walk on eggs. Well, Ellen is. I'm gonna help her. Like I said previously, I've done this before. We're gonna see if she can do it now. Just like Peter walked on water and had faith that he could do it, even though he faltered, he still believed he could at the beginning. We're gonna do the same thing, but with eggs. So if you have eggs at home, you can try this. Parent permission, remember. Let's get going. What we're gonna do is we're gonna lay out the eggs first, and then I'm going to help her walk on them. Here we go.
I'm nervous.
Don't be nervous. It's gonna be so great. We're ready. Now if you're doing this at home, what's best to remember is you want to keep your foot as flat as possible. You don't want to step on your heel and then move forward or push with your toes. I'm trying to be as flat as possible, so I'm going to provide balance. Okay. Here we go.
Okay.
Ah, no braking.
Oh.
You guys, she didn't break even one. Look at that. You did it.
I thought for sure they were gonna break.
They didn't break.
Yeah.
And there we go. Guys, you can do this at home, and I'd love to see if you can. But there you go. Have faith. It's possible. Anything and everything is possible with God. Yeah. Welcome to craft time. Guys, we are going to be taking our egg carton today from our object lesson we just did with Ellen. Thank you, Ellen. Mwah! So good to have her here so that she can be part of it. All right, with our egg carton, we are going to be making a boat. I don't know if you guys have ever done this before. I think I have a while ago, but it's been a long time, so we're gonna try it together. What you will need for your boat is an egg carton. Now I have an 18 count. You can do 12. You could even cut one of these out to have one. Now I'm not going to show you, I'm going to use it as a whole one, but I promise that if you were to cut on here, cut one of these out, you could stick something in and float it in water. It's up to you how big you want it to be, but I'm going to go with a big one. We're doing 18 count egg carton. This is optional. It's tin foil. I'll talk about it when we get there, but you don't need this. If you don't have it at home, no sweat. This is just an optional thing. I have some straws here. I have a pair of scissors. We will need a glue stick. And I have some paints. Now, everything here is a little bit optional in craft supplies that you have. So you can watch, you can follow along with what you have at home. But basically what you need, what I'm using the paints for, and this paper and glue stick and all this kind of stuff, is to decorate a boat. The main part of the boat is the egg carton. So this is honestly the one thing you need to be able to have to float your boat. Everything else is up to you, up to your creative design. I'm going to show you how to make a sail and how to cut out paper, and I'm going to paint my carton, but it's up to you how you want to do it. I have paints at home, but you can use markers, crayons, whatever you want. It's your boat. You make it how you want with what you have. First things first, we're going to take our egg carton and get it ready. So, we've got our egg carton here, and now I'm going to cut off the top. So I'm going to open it up. All my eggs are gone. I didn't even eat all these eggs yet. They're just in a bowl in my fridge, but I do love eggs, and so does Ellen. So now that we have all those eggs that we used that we didn't break, and we had this before, we are swimming in eggs for days. All right, so I'm just going to cut off this lid part here. Now, I have really sharp scissors. If you have like small ones at home, you might want a parent's help with this, but it's good exercise for those thumb muscles right here in your hand. So give it your best shot. And then this little lip part here that holds the top in, we can cut that off too. We basically just want the bottom. Beep, just like that. And once you have this, you can take this, set it to the side. We don't need this anymore. Now here comes the optional part, the tin foil. Your egg carton should be able to float in water without any help, but it will eventually get soggy. So if you do it for hours and hours, it'll get soggy and kind of fall apart, or if you use it multiple times. The tin foil, if you put the tin foil on the bottom and you kind of mold it to your egg carton, then that will help it be waterproof. Okay, now it's time for our sails. So I'm going to take my pencil here because the first part is I need to figure out where I want my sails to go. So see how I have these little like top bits here that like poke up? Let me see. Oh, there you go. This part is what kind of like what holds the eggs in. Now I'm thinking, this seems higher than they usually are in a smaller carton. So I might be able to just snip off the top here, but basically we want a little hole at the top so we can put our flag post in. I thought I was gonna need my pencil, so let's try it, see what happens. And then if it doesn't work, we'll just cut it off. Guys, that went in so easy. Can you see that? I barely had to push and it went, and look at that. It made a hole. I don't know if you can see it, but it made a hole right in there. Easy peasy. Guys, you can do it. If I can do it that easy, so can you. Now, with an 18 count egg carton, I have all of these to poke through if I wanted, but I'm only gonna do 3 sails because my boat's kind of big, but for a smaller one, you might do 2 or 1. But let's see, if I'm gonna do 3, I'm gonna do 1 here. I'll do 1 in the middle. See if it pokes through as easy. Oh, this one's a little tougher. I gotta give it some effort. Eee! Oh, it went through. See, it pushed it down a little bit, but then it popped through. So guys, this is gonna work for you. Okay, and then this one, pop it through. Bingo, bango. Now I've got my 3 holes. 1, 2, and 3. So those are gonna be where our sails go. So I'm gonna set this to the side. We'll come back to that. To create my sails, we're gonna cut triangles, kind of like what we did last week for our bubble painting that we did. How I cut out the triangle for the boat at the end. It's exactly what we're doing. So I have 2 colors of green here because green is my favorite color. So I'm gonna make 3, let's see. I'm gonna do 2 lime green and 1 dark green, so that way I have my 3 sails. So I'm gonna cut out 3 triangles. Here I go. Ta-da! Okay, now that I have my 3 triangles, 1, 2, 3, we're gonna decorate them. Now here's the part where you can make it however you wanna make it. So I thought I would paint my egg carton, but now that I'm looking at it, I think when it's floating in water, I might just paint the inside because this part outside is just gonna be underwater. So I'm gonna make the inside look beautiful for all my people who will be traveling on the seas with my boat. Okay, here we go. I've got some yellow shiny paint, some purple, some white, and some extra green. These are the colors I grabbed. Now I'm gonna decorate them and I'll show you when I'm done. Okay, I have finished painting my sails. And I decided to go with the theme of the sun because who doesn't like to sail on a sunny day? Actually, I've never been sailing before, but I do like going on boats. But here they are. I went with the theme of the sun, so I've got a sun on this one. This one has like a yellow shiny one. That one's a little bit harder to see, but I made 2 of those kind. So now what we're gonna do is we are going to, I forgot the tape. Hang on just a second. Got it. Okay, here's how we're gonna make our sails. This is where our straws come in handy. I'm gonna use a straw. Really anything that's straight and can hold up inside this is what you need. So I'm gonna pick, should I stick with the theme of green? Yeah, okay. Let's get 3 greens. Oh guys, I'm having a creative ideas come into my mind as I'm making this. I'm gonna do 2 short ones that are on the end and then 1 tall one in the middle. So for my short ones, I'm gonna cut my straw in half. We'll see how it goes. Boop. Boop. Okay, so now we need our tape, and you're gonna take your straw, and you're gonna take your sail, and you're gonna kind of make it so that this angle goes in the middle, and you're gonna tape your straw to the sail like this, so then it'll hold it up. So I'm gonna tape it on the front because I have paint on here. I don't wanna flip my paper over. But you guys don't have to rush. If you wanna take the time to let your paint dry, do it. So here we go. I'm gonna do mine on the front and wrap it around. Ta-da! My first sail. Woo, go sun. Okay, 1. Now I'm gonna make the rest. And now I've got my 3 sails. So we're gonna stick them into our boat. Ooh, first though, let's paint a little inside our boat. All right, I'm gonna stick my sails up here, grab my boat. And this time I think I'm gonna do yellow inside my boat to match my sails. Maybe some yellow and some white. But I'm gonna paint up the middle here just to kind of decorate these a little bit, like this. Can you see that all right? I'm gonna make it, oh yeah, look at that. You can see the shiny yellow. So pretty. All right, I'm gonna decorate some of these now. You guys, I would love to see how you decorate your boats. Here we go. All right, and my finishing touches. I decorated this more than I thought I was going to. I had fun with this. Hopefully you guys are enjoying your decorating your boats as well. And here we go. My final product, my finished look. Ooh, I went with some green, some white, and some yellow. And then I added dots on the inside because I thought that looked kind of cool. All right, so now that we have our boat painted and I've got my sails ready to go, now we just gotta add our sails. So how you do that is, those 3 holes that I made earlier, we're gonna stick the straw into. Now, can see that my hole's a little smaller than my straw, so I'm just gonna squeeze my straw a little bit and kind of bend it to fit inside. But depending on what you use, if you have a stick or something like that, it might slide right in. But now I'm gonna add these in, so I'm gonna pinch my straw to fit inside the hole. Dun, 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 dun. Well, it's a tight fit. Get in there. Oh! Sail number 1. I'm definitely getting paint on my hands, but okay, sail number 2. These are the front and the back sails. I'm gonna squeeze my straw, shove it in. Whoop. Number 2. And for our final one, number 3. I get this one, squeeze it. Hey, there we go. It's like I'm trying to fold my straw at the bottom. It's kind of weird. Guys, this looks amazing, you guys. I cannot wait to see what your guys' boats turn out like. You know what, now that I'm thinking more about it, I don't know if I've made one of these before because I'm feeling such a sense of pride in what I've just created that it makes me think I haven't done it before because look at this, it's so cool. Can you see all my sails? I'll give it the 360 view. Ta-da! Awesome. Well, there you go, guys. There's your boat. I hope this is a great reminder for you as you're making it to remember that Jesus is your friend. Not only that, but when you pray to him, he's there for you. And don't forget that he's always there. When we're feeling scared and we're alone, don't forget Jesus is there with you. And he's right there to comfort, love you, guide you, whatever it is that you need. Just all you have to do is be there and you ask for him. Cry out to Jesus and he will answer your call. There you have it, you guys. Your craft. Now it's time to go float it in some water. So next time, I would suggest for you, next time that you're down by like a pool or a river, take it with you. Or a stream, you can watch it go down the stream. Just make sure you're there to catch it in the end. Or you can do it in the bath. Next time you take a bath, play with it in the bath. It'll be so fun. And you can put whatever kind of bath toys or guys you have. See how many guys you can fit on this before you can sink it. Either way, I hope you enjoy it. I love you. Let's move on to stories. Jesus is My Special Friend by Susan S. Balika and illustrated by Craig Boldman. I have a friend and his name is Jimmy. Jimmy and I like to talk together. We wonder where clouds come from. We plan rocket trips to the moon and we laugh about the way pudding feels in our mouths. But sometimes Jimmy goes shopping with his mother and sometimes he goes to visit his grandparents. When we can't be together, I feel lonely. I had a friend and her name was Jamie. We like to look at books and tell stories about the pictures. We like to color with bright crayons, and sometimes our mothers taped our drawings onto the refrigerator. One day, a moving van came, and the moving van put Jamie's books and crayons into brown boxes, and they took down her swing set. Jamie moved away to another city. I miss her. I have another friend, and his name is David. David and I like to play games together. We build roads in the sand and make garages from blocks. We pretend that David is the mechanic and I am a race car driver. Sometimes we fight. We get angry with each other. David takes his big yellow dump truck and goes home. That makes me feel sad inside. It's hard to say I'm sorry. But I have a very special friend. And he never makes me feel lonely. And he never moves away. And he never goes home because he's angry with me. He's always with me, even though I can't see him. He is with me when I lie on my back in the tickly green grass and look up at the clouds. He's with me when I toss leaves high in the air and jump into the falling colors. He is with me when I swish down the hill in the crunchy snow. And he's with me because he wants to be with me. If I do something wrong, he lets me say, I'm sorry. He even likes me when I do not like myself. And he likes all my friends. He likes you as much as he likes me. And he loves you as much as he loves me. My special friend is Jesus. Do you know my special friend? Do you know Jesus? The end. I Can Pray. Written by Jennifer Holder and Diane Stortz. Illustrated by C.A. Nordens. I can pray. Praying is talking and listening to God. I have lots of things to say to God in my prayers. When I pray, I praise God. He is awesome and powerful. Every day, God does wonderful things. When I pray, I confess. When I ran through Mrs. Nelson's flower beds, even after Mom told me not to, I prayed to God and told him that I had done something wrong. After I was mean to my sister, I confessed that to God too. When I pray, I thank God for his blessings, and I tell him I'm grateful for my family, friends, and church. When I pray, I ask God for his help. If I have a problem, I tell God about it. I ask him to help other people with their problems too. When my friend's dad was sick, I asked God to help him get better, and he did. Give all your worries to him. 1 Peter 5:7. God wants me to talk to him, but he also wants to talk to me, so I listen to God. I listen to God when I read the Bible. The Bible is God's word, and God guides me and gives me wisdom. He helps me to know what is right. Sometimes, when I want to talk, my friends are too busy, and sometimes nobody's home. But God is never too busy for me to talk to him. I can talk to God at any time. When I'm in the car, or walking my dog, or doing my chores. I can pray to God. Sometimes my family takes trips to places far, far away. And that's okay because I can still talk to God, whether I'm at home or at school. Even if I were swimming under the ocean or floating through outer space, God is still near me, listening to my prayers. Isn't God amazing? There are lots of different ways to pray. Sometimes I kneel at my window with Mom. Sometimes I look up and I lift my hands. I can sing a prayer. I can write down or draw a prayer. Whether my prayer is loud or quiet, God will hear it. Even though I can't see God's face, I know he is listening. The Lord listens when I pray to him. Psalms 4, verse 3. No matter where I am or how I do it, I can pray, and God will always, always listen. Never stop praying. 1 Thessalonians 5, verse 17. The end. Guys, we did it. Another week down. Can you believe it? Next week is gonna be our 20th episode. Oh my, I can't even believe it. We're gonna have to do something to celebrate. I'm thinking of some ideas of what we can do to celebrate the milestone of our 20th episode, you guys. It may not seem like that much, but 20 episodes is a lot. I can't, what? Crazy. So anyway, tune in next week to see what I come up with for our 20th episode. I'm not sure what we're gonna do yet, but I promise it'll be fun. Just know that I am praying for you, and I love you, and Jesus loves you too. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next week for episode number 20!